Are mid-cut football boots slowly going away? Where yes, mid-cut football boots did technically exist prior to 2014, but it is undeniable that the influence of the Magista Obra and the Superfly 4 from Nike sparked a tremendous amount of change in the industry. Fast forward 11 years, and there are realistically only 5 mainstream mid-cut football boots left, with only 2 of them actually being relevant. The obvious one being the Superfly 10, where I think at this point, as long as Nike continues to produce a Superfly, it will always be mid-cut. The other being the Phantom Luna 2, with Nike definitely being the brand that seems to be the most committed to mid-cut football boots, which isn't that surprising given that they're pretty much the ones that popularized it. But outside of those 2 options, the other 3 are kind of just there, with the only current mid-cut boot on offer from Adidas right now being the mid-cut version of the F50, which is technically branded as their women's model, at least it's sold in women's sizing, and realistically, there's no difference in the shaping, there's no difference in the fit. The only difference is that the heel construction is a little bit different to allow for this mid-cut collar, but in general, these just aren't very popular, and honestly, it's probably the worst version of the current F50. New Balance technically makes the Tekela V4 Plus Pro, which is a mid-cut laceless boot, but recently, most colorway drops have only included the laced low-cut model, so they seem to have given up on this particular boot. And then there's the Lotto Solista 109 Gravity, their laceless mid-cut offering that truthfully you probably didn't know existed, and in all honesty, it's the exact same football boot they released 6 years ago, where they just update the graphics and colors, add an extra number to the end, and call it a new football boot. Regardless, nobody's buying these, let's be real. My mistake, there is also technically the mid-cut Skechers SKX, but once again, nobody is really buying this. And if we really want to be nitpicky, technically the Future 8 Ultimate is a mid-cut football boot, but honestly these little mock collars that are basically just a minor extension on what would otherwise be a low-cut football boot, in my opinion, doesn't really count. It's a big change up from what the football boot market looked like just a couple years ago, so the question that I'd ask you is, do you still care about mid-cut football boots?